This is Storytime with Sassy. It's my first story. I figured I'd start us out with a good one, so let's start. By the time I messed up by throwing my steak out of a window. So last night, my wife's boss from her brand new job invited us over for dinner, right? And on the drive over, my wife reiterated many, many times to me just how important it was for her to make a very good impression. You know, you always want to make a good impression for your new boss. I scoffed and arrogantly informed my silly wife that I always make good impressions, okay? So my wife's boss is a single lady in her 50s, and it was just the three of us. We chit-chatted over drinks, we had salad, and we seemed to really be hitting it off. She laughed at my well-timed, perfectly appropriate jokes, and my wife seemed very pleased at the whole situation. So soon, she brought the main course. It was a nice, big, juicy steak for every one of us. As I began to cut into my steak, though, I was discouraged to discover how undercooked this steak was. Now, I've had my fair share of steak and rare steak. I prefer medium, but I can handle rare. This was several minutes on a hot grill short of being rare. I probably could have resuscitated that cow had I tried. Instead, I sat there fidgeting with my knife and fork, worrying about how I was going to get away with not eating this steak. Okay, so do I claim veganism? No. I'd already feigned over the great enthusiasm I had of eating this steak. But just then, our hostess excused herself, and she went to the kitchen to take care of some dessert preparations. Alright, so this was my time. So as I looked across this fancy dining room table at the open window of the third story apartment that we were in, a cartoon light bulb just appeared over my head. I had a great idea. I knew exactly how to be decisive of realizing that she could have returned at any moment. But I committed. I grabbed that steak with my hand, I gently shook off the juice, and executed a perfect throw right through the center of the open window. But here's where the mess up comes in. See, the window wasn't open. It was the cleanest freaking window you'd ever seen in your life. That is, until my mostly raw slab of meat slapped up against it and slid down, leaving a trail of bloody juice. My wife, whose steak was nice medium rare and was unaware of my predicament, turned, looked at me, jaw dropped, and she stared at me like I was an alien from another planet. This look then slowly morphed into more that there is no place on this planet you could ever hide from me expression of demonic anger. My wife's boss heard the thud of the steak on the window and came in quickly. She took a look at her window, okay? The steak is sitting on the windowsill, the bloody trail, my empty plate, and then she gave me an inquisitive, puzzled look. I just didn't know what to say, though. See, what do you do in that kind of situation? It felt like I took a moment of silence. It was probably like 3 or 4 seconds. Finally, the best I could manage was, I'm so sorry. I'm such a klutz. I don't even know. I was cutting it. It slipped. Just ask my wife. I really am a klutz, right, honey? There was no help coming from that direction, though. I'll clean it up. I can't believe this. I'm so sorry. Yada yada yada. Both women continued to stare at me like I had escaped from the loony bin as I smeared the blood around the window with my cloth napkin, dusted off the steak, and continued to mutter my incoherent explanation. I knew there was no buying this story. I knew what I had to do. I sheepishly returned to my seat and proceeded to eat every bite of that disgusting, cold, chewy, bloody, raw, and probably slightly dusty steak now. I remained pretty quiet the rest of the evening. My wife's only 2 words to me since the incident was, "I'm fine." Long story short, I tried to sneakily throw my undercooked meat out the window, and it wasn't even open. Can you believe it? Now that is the opening story to my series of stories that I'm going to be telling. And I hope you enjoyed this one. She'll get better as we go on. But I'll catch you next time.